Assalamu alaikum. This is Talat Suhail. I welcome you all to Virtual University's program on Theories of Personality. Dear student, we are beginning with a very interesting and fascinating theory of personality given to us by Alfred Adler. Adler is the pioneer of individual psychology. But before beginning with the new theory, let us recap what we did in lecture number 8. In lecture number 8, we were talking about Carl Jung's analytical theory of personality. और हमने आपसे कार्ल यूंग की पर्सनैलिटी थ्योरी के मेन कंस्ट्रक्ट्स और कॉन्सेप्ट्स डिस्कस किए थे. And we went ahead by first discussing the biographical sketch, then different concepts of his theory, and we even did evaluation and comparison with Sigmund Freud. So let us see what we did in lecture number 8. In lecture number 8, we began with the question, who are the Neo-Freudians? Well, Neo-Freudians are the followers of Freud, but they have come up with their own competing theories of psychoanalysis. Jung is also one of the Neo-Freudian, and he gave an analytical theory of personality. In this analytical theory of personality, Jung is focusing on personal unconscious. Jung's personal unconscious is similar to Sigmund Freud's unconscious. Now, personal unconscious refers to repressed memories और memories which are not very clear or vivid. उसके बाद जनाब हमने बात की थी इसमें complex की. Complex is a cluster of ideas which is connected together by a common feeling or emotion. और हमने मिसाल ली थी mother complex, father complex, money complex, power complex and so many. Second important concept of Jung's theory is collective unconscious. Collective unconscious consists of all those memories which we inherit from our ancestors. So it is all the record, all the storehouse of memories which you share, which you get from your ancestors. और collective unconscious में हमने focus किया था archetypes पे. And archetypes refer to storehouse of memories, visions, images that we inherit from our forefathers. और archetypes में जनाब हम we even talked about at length about persona, anima, animus, shadow and self. So these were the things we were talking about. So let us see that Carl Jung was born in the year 1875 in a small village, and when he was 10 years old, he carved out a small wooden man, dressed him in black, and put him in a box, and put this box in the attic. And whenever he was depressed or whenever he had problems, he would go to this carved out wooden man and share his secrets with him. And in this way, this carved out figure was a refuge figure for Carl Jung. Now he became a doctor and he read Sigmund Freud's book, The Interpretation of Dreams. And after reading this book, he wrote a letter, met Freud, and Freud encouraged him. And then he wrote some 395 letters which shows Jung's dependence on Freud. He accompanied Freud to America when Freud was delivering series of lectures on psychoanalysis, but all in good faith. Jung advised him not to emphasize on sexual interpretation of dreams and not to emphasize only on psychosexual development or on the unconscious or childhood experiences. Freud could not take this criticism. So Carl Jung his relationship with Carl Jung suffered a setback, and then it was initially terminated. And when this relationship was terminated, during this time, Jung began to develop his own analytical theory of personality. और ये आप कह सकते हैं कि यूंग was Freud's first disciple, पहला शागिर्द, and his first rebel, वो पहला शख्स जिसने उसके सिस्टम के अगेंस्ट बगावत. Now, Jung was talking about libido, equivalence, entropy and law of opposites. Libido is the driving force. ये वो energy है which an individual uses in solving all the problems that the individual comes across. So libido is the life energy for Jung. Equivalence is the first law of thermodynamics or the law of conservation of energy, which states that energy within a system is fixed. It can change forms, but energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Similarly, the psychical energy or the life energy in an organism is fixed. It can change form. आप ज़्यादा यूज करें ये एनर्जी कॉन्शियस एक्टिविटीज में, या आप ज़्यादा ये एनर्जी यूज कर सकते हैं अनकॉन्शियस एक्टिविटीज में, बट इट सिंपली चेंजेस फॉर्म्स. Dear students, we are talking about concepts of Carl Jung. उसमें हमारे पास दूसरा important concept था equivalence का. Third important concept is entropy. Now, entropy is the second law of thermodynamics, which states that there is a tendency towards equalization of energy within a system. For example, all the components of the psyche, they have a tendency to equalize their energy level. Now, you have got conscious, unconscious, persona, anima, animus, shadow, self. These are the different components of your personality. And there is a tendency within the organism towards equalization of the energy level. That is what is entropy. Law of opposites. Now, according to Newton, who gave us the third law of motion, to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. या हेगल ने जो कहा कि everything carries its own negation or its own antithesis. So आप कह सकते हैं जहाँ पे conscious है वहीं पे unconscious है, जहाँ पे rational है वहीं पे irrational. Then Jung gave us components of personality जिसमें ego है. Ego is all your conscious activities, all the things you are thinking about, feeling, remembering, perceiving. So ego is responsible all the things that you do. Personal unconscious consists of forgotten or repressed memories, और इसमें the concept of complex is important. And a complex is a cluster of ideas connected together by common feeling or emotions. Collective unconscious, it refers to our ancestral experiences, memories from untold millions of years. और जनाब इसी में आता है आर्कीटाइप्स, और हमने वो 5 आर्कीटाइप्स जो आपसे पहले डिस्कस किए थे वो था पर्सोना, एनिमा, एनिमस, शैडो एंड सेल्फ. फिर साइकोलॉजिकल टाइप्स की आपसे बात हुई थी. साइकोलॉजिकल टाइप्स रिफर टू द ओरिएंटेशन और द वे एन इंडिविजुअल एक्ट्स विद अदर पीपल. और 2 तरह के साइकोलॉजिकल टाइप्स पे यूंग ने फोकस किया. इंट्रोवर्ट्स हु आर मोर इमेजिनेटिव, more interested in being isolated, more interested in reading a book. और दूसरी तरफ हमारे पास extroverts हैं, very expressive, love to go to parties, picnics and love to socialize. Stages of development हमें यूंग ने दी: childhood, young adulthood, middle ages and life after retirement. जनाब हमने उस वक्त भी यही कहा था कि यूंग की जो स्टेजेस ऑफ डेवलपमेंट है एज कंपेयर टू सिगमंड फ्रॉइड आर मोर कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव and covering a longer period of time of an individual's life rather whole of the life of an individual. और इसमें फोकस सिर्फ फिजिकल मटेरियलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट पे नहीं था बल्कि स्पिरिचुअल डेवलपमेंट पे भी यूंग बहुत फोकस कर। उसके बाद कुछ इम्पोर्टेंट कंस्ट्रक्ट्स थे जिसमें लाइफ गोल था और लाइफ गोल जो है इट इज द हार्मोनाइजिंग, इंटीग्रेटिंग, कंबाइनिंग ऑफ ऑल द वेरियस कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ द पर्सनालिटी इनटू वन. Another very important thing, Jung is talking about behavior, that our behavior is guided by past as well as by future. So past experiences push us forward and the future goals they pull us ahead. फिर यूंग ने हमें बहुत सारी रिसर्च की टेक्निक्स दी जिसमें उसने वेलहेम वुंड का वर्ड एसोसिएशन टेस्ट रीडिजाइन किया एंड यूज्ड इट एक्सटेंसिवली विद हिज पेशेंट्स इन स्टडिंग पर्सनल अनकॉन्शियस और इन स्टडिंग द कंस्ट्रक्ट ऑफ कॉम्प्लेक्स. ही टॉक्ड अबाउट ड्रीम एनालिसिस एंड फॉर यूंग ड्रीम्स आर योर प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग मैकेनिज्म्स. और यूंग के लिए the combining, the unification of personal unconscious, collective unconscious and the archetypes into one is important. And this leads to the construct or concept of life goal or the self. Dear students, that is as far as Carl Jung was concerned. Now, let us begin with a new brand of psychology with a very exciting and with something very new which you will enjoy and that is called individual psychology. सबसे पहले ये देख लेते हैं कि individual psychology का pioneer कौन है. It was Alfred Adler who is the pioneer of individual psychology. Who are the neo-Freudians? Is Alfred Adler a neo-Freudian? Okay. When we have these two questions, the first one, neo-Freudians certainly are the followers of Freud who developed their own competing theories. Adler is a neo-Freudian. He pioneered individual psychology, but his focus is, Adler का focus जो है वो बहुत सारी चीजों पे है, लेकिन जो दो बहुत अहम चीजें हैं वो है, number one, he proposed feelings of inferiority as the driving force behind personality. Number two, he developed a birth order theory. ये दो चीजें बहुत important हैं according to Adler. First, he is talking about feelings of inferiority. Then he is giving importance to birth order. जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है इंडिविजुअल साइकोलॉजी की और हमने कहा कि एल्फ्रेड एडलर इज द पायनियर ऑफ इंडिविजुअल साइकोलॉजी और उसमें उसका फोकस जो है वो दो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीजों पे है. एक है फीलिंग्स ऑफ इंफीरियरिटी एज द ड्राइविंग फोर्स विद इन एन इंडिविजुअल एंड नंबर टू ही इज फोकसिंग ऑन बर्थ ऑर्डर थ्योरी. He is also focusing on psychological and social development of an individual. Style of life, social interest and self are also very important. Future goals are very important. Dreams are problem-solving mechanisms for Adler as well. And goal of psychotherapy or treatment is to encourage healthy style of life by incorporating social interest. So एक अच्छा healthy style of life वो होगा जिसमें social interest हो, दूसरों के लिए कुछ अच्छा काम करने की, there is something in it. And humans, according to Adler, are free to choose their destiny. Now over here, when we are saying that humans are free to choose their destiny, Adler is differing from Sigmund Freud, because for Freud, human beings are not free to choose their destiny. For Adler, we are free to choose our destiny. So dear students, these are some of the main things which Adler talked about. इनके ऊपर आगे चल के हम बड़ी तफसील से बात करेंगे. But let's see that Adler is talking about two things. Number one, he proposed feelings of inferiority as the driving force behind a personality. Number two, he developed a birth order theory. ये क्या है? Feelings of inferiority. Now, the feelings of being weak or inferior, they are the motivating force behind all our achievements, such as good grades, roll of honor, working hard for an assignment. So, Janan, whenever an individual feels inferior, whenever individual feels weak, that serves as a motivating force for all your personal achievements. चाहे वो अच्छे ग्रेड्स हो और चाहे वो रोल ऑफ ऑनर हो या किसी इंटरव्यू की बहुत अच्छी तैयारी हो. So Adler is talking about feelings of inferiority as the motivating force for all your personal achievements. Number two, he is talking about birth order. Whether you are a first-born child, second-born child, last-born child, or the only child, the only born, that has an influence that partly determines your type of personality. इसके ऊपर भी बात होगी आपसे. Let's go through a very brief biographical sketch of Adler. Now, Adler was born in 1870 in Vienna, Austria. He had a very miserable childhood. He was second of the 6 children and he suffered from sibling rivalry. His elder brother was very handsome, very athletic, and he was very good in studies as well. And Adler, in his childhood, first suffered from rickets. Rickets एक ऐसा disease है जिसमें your bones are so weak that even your own body weight can break them. So he suffered from rickets. Then when he was just 5 years old, he suffered from pneumonia and he heard the doctor say to his parents, your boy is lost. ये show करते हैं ये दोनों events. He had a miserable childhood. उसके बाद देखेंगे कि फ्रॉइड से उसकी रिलेशनशिप कैसे बनी, किस तरह उसने अपनी ब्रांड ऑफ साइकोलॉजी डेवलप की और क्यों इंडिविजुअल साइकोलॉजी इज अ पॉपुलर साइकोलॉजी इवन टुडे. We'll talk about some of the very important concepts of Alfred Adler's theory, जिसमें जनाब individual psychology पे बात करेंगे. What is individual psychology? Organ inferiority and compensation. We'll talk about that. Feelings of inferiority. What are feelings of inferiority? Striving for superiority. देखेंगे कि हम सब क्यों superior होने के लिए strive करते हैं, कोशिश करते हैं, स्ट्रगल करते हैं. स्टाइल ऑफ लाइफ. व्हाट इज स्टाइल ऑफ लाइफ एंड हाउ डज इट इन्फ्लुएंस ए पर्सन. विल टॉक अबाउट फिक्शनल फाइनलिज्म. फिक्शनल फाइनलिज्म क्या है और उसकी इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है. सोशल इंटरेस्ट. व्हाई हैविंग सोशल इंटरेस्ट इज इम्पोर्टेंट. मिस्टेकन स्टाइल ऑफ लाइफ और फॉल्टी स्टाइल ऑफ लाइफ देखेंगे कि क्या है. और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट एडलर का क्रिएटिव सेल्फ एंड हाउ दिस क्रिएटिव सेल्फ इज एक्सप्रेस्ड. We'll talk about methods of studying an individual. Dear students, when we'll talk about methods of studying an individual, वहां पे जनाब हम देखेंगे birth order, first memories, और उसके बाद ड्रीम एनालिसिस. और ये वो सारे तरीके हैं which are used to study an individual. Then we'll see what is the goal of psychotherapy for Adler. We'll evaluate his theory and we'll compare him with Sigmund Freud. या दरमियान में भी अगर कहीं पे भी किसी और पर्सनैलिटी थेरिस्ट के साथ कंपैरिजन उसका चलता ही रहेगा. So let us see what is individual psychology. इन सारे concepts को, इन सारे constructs को पहले देखते हैं कि वो हैं क्या, फिर उनकी डिटेल कर. First is individual psychology. The term individual psychology refers to the fact that individuals are unique. They are characterized by inner harmony and a striving force to cooperate with fellow humans. It does not mean that human beings are selfish, aggressive, and motivated to satisfy their own biological motives. जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है इंडिविजुअल साइकोलॉजी की, एंड दिस इंडिविजुअल साइकोलॉजी refers to the fact that all individuals, all human beings are unique and they have an inner goal of cooperating, of living in harmony with one another. So all human beings are unique and they want to live with one another with peace. They are not selfish, they are not aggressive, and they are not only concerned about their self motives only. Second important concept, and that is organ inferiority and compensation. According to Adler, some of us are born with weak eyes, others with weak stomach, some with weak hearts, and still others with damaged limbs. These are biological deficiencies. Janab, organ inferiority and compensation refers to the fact that some of us are born with one weaker faculty. It can be, we can be born with weak eyes or weak stomachs or weak hearts or weak lung. And when these biological deficiencies are there, we work hard on another faculty to compensate for it. जनाब बात आपसे करें एल्फ्रेड एडलर की इंडिविजुअल साइकोलॉजी के डिफरेंट कॉन्सेप्ट्स और कंस्ट्रक्ट्स की, उसमें थर्ड इम्पॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट और कंस्ट्रक्ट इज फीलिंग्स ऑफ इंफीरियोरिटी. फॉर एडलर, all of us start life with feelings of inferiority because we are completely dependent on adults for our survival. So for Adler, feelings of inferiority, they refer the very dependency of an individual for his survival on others. और एडलर के लिए फीलिंग्स ऑफ इंफीरियोरिटी इसलिए भी अहम है बिकॉज दे आर द ड्राइविंग फोर्स ऑफ द पर्सनैलिटी, सो दे आर इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर हिम. नंबर 4, स्ट्राइविंग फॉर सुपीरियोरिटी. स्ट्राइविंग फॉर सुपीरियोरिटी इज इंडिविजुअल स्ट्रगल और स्ट्राइव फॉर अ सुपीरियर और अ परफेक्ट सोसाइटी. तो जनाब बात कुछ यूं है कि ऑल ऑफ अस strive to or struggle for superiority. और ये किस लिए? ये इसलिए for a superior or perfect society. So striving for superiority to make this society superior or perfect. So इसमें भी social interest बहुत ज़्यादा. Number 5, style of life. The means by which a particular individual attempts to gain superiority is called the style of life. तो जनाब वो तरीका, that method, that technique which an individual adopts to become superior is called the style of life. यानी क्या आप ज्यादा पढ़ के superior होना चाहते हैं? क्या आप ज्यादा पैसा जमा करके superior होना चाहते हैं? क्या आप लोगों की मदद करके सोशल वर्क या चैरिटी वर्क करके सुपीरियर होना चाहते हैं? दैट रिफर्स टू योर स्टाइल ऑफ लाइफ अकॉर्डिंग टू एल्फ्रेड एडलर. डियर स्टूडेंट्स, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एडलर्स इंडिविजुअल साइकोलॉजी. उसमें 6th इम्पॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट इज फिक्शनल फाइनलिज्म. ऑल ऑफ अस आर गाइडेड बाय द फिक्शंस और फिक्शनल बिलीव्स or ideas which make our life significant and organized. These fictional themes are very useful. तो जनाब सारे जो इंसान हैं they are guided by certain fictions or fictional beliefs or ideas which make their lives very significant and organized. And these fictional themes are very important and useful. Number 7, social interest. Social interest is an innate need of all humans to live in harmony, peace and friendship with others, and to make a perfect society. Every individual has a degree or potential for social interest. So, social interest refers to an inborn need of human beings to live in harmony, peace and friendship with others, and to make this place or this society a perfect society. अब हर इंडिविजुअल अपने सोशल इंटरेस्ट की इंटेंसिटी और डिग्री के लिहाज से दूसरे इंडिविजुअल से डिफर करता है या मुख्तलिफ है. देन वी आर टू टॉक अबाउट समथिंग एंड दैट इज मिस्टेकन स्टाइल ऑफ लाइफ. एन इंडिविजुअल हु सीक्स पर्सनल सुपीरियरिटी and self goals only suffers from superiority complex and from mistaken style of life. And he who is overwhelmed by feelings of inferiority, he suffers from inferiority complex. Adler has classified 4 types of people according to the degree of social interest. Number 1, the ruling dominant type. Number 2, the getting leaning type. Number 3, the avoiding type. And number 4, the socially useful type. जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है एडलर के mistaken style of life की. Now these mistaken styles of life refer to the manner in which an individual wants to be superior. Now, if an individual wants to be superior by only pursuing his personal or selfish goals, well, he has a mistaken style of life, and this mistaken style of life refers to superiority complex. तो जब एक शख्स सिर्फ अपने जाती गोल्स को परसू करता है और सेल्फिशली सिर्फ अपने गोल्स के ऊपर फोकस करता है, this is a mistaken style of life and he is suffering from superiority complex. When an individual is overcome by inferiority feelings, or inferiority feelings are so much in intensity that they overwhelm the individual, well, he suffers from inferiority complex or feelings of inferiority. This is also a mistaken style of life. Now, Adler is talking about 4 mistaken styles of life. Number 1, the ruling dominant type. Number 2, the leaning getting type. Number 3, the avoidant type. And number 4, the socially useful type. अभी हमने इनको मिसालों के साथ, एग्जाम्पल्स के साथ जनाब करना है. 9th important concept is creative self. Heredity and environment provide the raw materials which the individual uses in his unique creative way to develop and determine his relationship with the world. So जनाब, the way you determine and develop your unique relationship with the world and people refers to your creative self. उसके बाद methods of studying an individual में आपसे बात रहेगी और डिटेल में रहेगी birth order की, first memories की और dream analysis की. These are the techniques which Adler gave us in studying an individual. Goal of psychotherapy. For Adler, lifestyle focuses on one way of looking at things, and this mode of perception persists until the person runs into major problems. This is a faulty lifestyle. So a new lifestyle which contains social interest and which is more functional will be sought by the person. So goal of life is that an individual should have such a style of life which has social interest in it. आपका जो भी स्टाइल ऑफ लाइफ हो उसमें social interest, betterment of others, and living in cooperation and harmony with others is important. और अगर ये नहीं है तो साइकोथेरेपी या ट्रीटमेंट का एम और गोल और पर्पस और ऑब्जेक्टिव यही है टू इंस्टिल, टू इनकॉर्पोरेट social interest in your style of life. Dear students, we have briefly given you the main concepts of Adler's theory, what is individual psychology, organ inferiority and compensation, feelings of inferiority, striving for superiority, style of life, fictional finalism, social interest, mistaken styles of life, creative self, methods of studying an individual, goal of psychotherapy. So now let us begin and see all these things in detail with examples. तो इन सब कॉन्सेप्ट्स को और कंस्ट्रक्ट्स को डिटेल में देखते हैं, विद एग्जाम्पल्स देखते हैं, so that you have a better understanding of them. So let us first begin with the biographical sketch. Adler was born in Vienna, Austria in 1870. He was second of the 6 children. He had severe rivalry with his elder brother, who was very athletic and the model child of the family. यानी वो एक ऐसा बच्चा था, उसका बड़ा भाई, जिसकी मिसाल दी जाती थी. और इस वजह से there was rivalry or there was ill feeling or jealousy between Adler and his elder brother. Now Adler thought of himself as ugly and short. याद रखिएगा कि हमने बात की है feelings of inferiority की. Now Adler had these inferiority feelings about himself, that he was ugly and he was short and he had a miserable childhood. He suffered from rickets, and because he suffered from rickets, which prevented him from taking part in any sports or any field activities, क्योंकि जो भी rickets के मरीज होते हैं, all their bones are bandaged so that they may not break their bones. और अभी जब एडलर 5 साल का हुआ तो he suffered from pneumonia and he heard the doctor say to his parents, your boy is lost. Adler was so much impressed by his treatment with these doctors that he decided to become a medical doctor himself. तो डॉक्टर्स का इतना अच्छा रवैया देखने के बाद उसने ये फैसला किया कि वो खुद भी डॉक्टर बने. Now, Adler read Freud's book, The Interpretation of Dreams, and he wrote a paper, research paper supporting Freud's interpretation of dreams. जाहिर है किताब अच्छी होगी, एडलर को पसंद आई होगी और उसने उस किताब की सपोर्ट में एक बहुत अच्छा रिसर्च पेपर लिखा. And Freud read it, and Freud invited Adler to visit him and to join his psychoanalytic society. And later, Adler was made the president of the psychoanalytic society. हम ये कह सकते हैं, according to Adler himself, this was his biggest mistake, supporting Freud and joining psychoanalytical society, taking the presidentship of the psychoanalytical society, because Adler developed a totally different brand of psychology. He developed a humanistic, holistic approach towards psychology and individuals. So this was the biggest mistake that Adler committed. Now, soon Adler discovered that Freud could not take criticism. Whenever somebody used to criticize him, Freud was very harsh, was very rude. So Adler coined the term individual psychology and began developing individual psychology and his own theory of personality. Initially, Adler's work focused on child rearing practices, on education, and on everyday problems that individuals pursue. Adler's individual theory is still very popular. His 2 children, his daughter Alexandria and son Kurt, they practice his brand of psychology in New York. So his brand of psychology is still there, still pursued, popular, and making some good disciples. So आप ये कह सकते हैं कि ये एक ऐसी ब्रांड ऑफ साइकोलॉजी थी जो अभी भी पॉपुलर है और जिसके बहुत सारे फॉलोअर्स हैं. That is as far as his biographical sketch is concerned. उसमें आप दो चीजों को खुद से एनालाइज कर सकते हैं और देख सकते हैं. नंबर 1, inferiority feelings. एडलर का फोकस inferiority feelings की तरफ है, और अगर आप उस जुमले की तरफ फोकस करें जहां पे एडलर thinks that he was ugly and short, so inferiority feelings within him. नंबर 2, बर्थ ऑर्डर के ऊपर वो फोकस करते हैं, एंड ही हैड राइवलरी विद हिज एल्डर ब्रदर, सो ही वाज द सेकंड बॉर्न एंड ही डेवलप्ड his birth order theory on his own personal experiences and all the things that he was going through. Dear students, इस बायोग्राफिकल स्केच में से आपको ये बात बिल्कुल क्लियरली पता चल रही है कि ये दोनों चीजें, इंफीरियोरिटी फीलिंग्स एज वेल एज बर्थ ऑर्डर, ये दोनों उसके पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंसेस के बेस पे उसने ये फिलॉसफी डेवलप की एंड परसूड इट. नाउ लेट अस टेक ऑल द कंस्ट्रक्ट्स, वो सारे कंस्ट्रक्ट्स उसके थ्योरी के जो हैं उनको वन बाय वन लेते हैं एंड लेट्स गो थ्रू देम. The first one is individual psychology. The term individual psychology refers to the fact that individuals are unique, they are characterized by inner harmony and a striving force to cooperate with fellow humans. It does not mean that human beings are selfish, aggressive, and motivated to satisfy their own biological motives. His theory focuses on whole individual. The whole is more than the sum of its parts. So when we dissect, we distort the harmony of the whole. So Adler seems to be talking like a Gestalt personality theorist, focusing on holistic approach. बात आपसे, डियर स्टूडेंट्स, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इंडिविजुअल साइकोलॉजी, और हमने उसमें कहा कि एडलर की इंडिविजुअल साइकोलॉजी का फोकस इस बात की तरफ है कि ऑल ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर यूनिक एंड दे स्ट्राइव टू लिव इन हार्मनी एंड पीस विद वन अनदर. तीसरी अहम चीज ये है कि एडलर इज फोकसिंग हिज साइकोलॉजी is more like, he's talking more like a Gestalt psychologist, Gestalt personality theorist, where the focus is on whole, not on bits and pieces of behavior. In fact, if we dissect the whole into bits and pieces, we distort the harmony or the equilibrium of the whole. So therefore, Adler is emphasizing on holistic एंड होल अप्रोच. और हमें ऐसा लगता है कि एडलर जो है वो एक गेस्टॉल्ट पर्सनालिटी थ्योरिस्ट की तरह बात करे, या वो एक होलिस्टिक अप्रोच पे फोकस करे. एक और अहम बात जो आपके जहन में रहनी चाहिए कि एडलर्स इंडिविजुअल साइकोलॉजी इज द ऑपोजिट ऑफ सिगमंड फ्रॉइड्स पर्सनालिटी थ्योरी. क्योंकि हमें सिगमंड फ्रॉइड की फिलॉसफी और थ्योरी में ऐसे लगता है कि ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर इन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट विद वन अनदर एंड विद द सोसाइटी, एंड दे आर मोर कंट्रोल्ड बाय देयर एनिमल इंस्टिंक्ट्स ऑफ बीइंग अग्रेसिव, बीइंग सेक्सुअल, बीइंग सेल्फिश. सो एडलर्स इंडिविजुअल साइकोलॉजी is the opposite of Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory and psychoanalysis. क्योंकि एडलर के अकॉर्डिंगली individuals want to live in harmony with one another and they want to improve or do something better for the society as well. Number 2, second important concept, that is organ inferiority and compensation. According to Adler, some of us are born with weak eyes, others with weak stomachs, some with weak hearts, and still others with damaged limbs. These biological deficiencies or shortcomings create problem for people. An individual with organ inferiority compensates for this particular weakness by concentrating on its development or by emphasizing other functions which make up for the weakness. For example, a blind person may concentrate on development of his auditory skills or focus more on some other modality such as touch or feelings. We have many examples like Helen Keller, who was blind, deaf, and worked hard and focused on her sense of touch. Beethoven, who was tone deaf, yet he created the best music in the world. जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है एल्फ्रेड एडलर के सेकेंड इम्पोर्टेंट कंस्ट्रक्ट की, एंड दैट इज ऑर्गन इंफीरियोरिटी एंड कंपनसेशन. तो बात कुछ यूं है कि वी आर बोर्न विद अ वीकर फैकल्टी, एंड व्हेन वी आर बोर्न विद अ वीकर फैकल्टी दैट क्रिएट्स प्रॉब्लम फॉर अस. सो आइदर वी वर्क हार्ड ऑन दैट फैकल्टी or we choose another modality and work hard on that to overcome that particular biological deficiency. और उसमें हमारे पास मिसालें हैं कि for example if an individual is blind, he is going to work on another modality that is sense of hearing or auditory sense. और या जैसे हमारे पास मिसालें हैं हेलन केलर की या बिथोवन की. बिथोवन was tone deaf, yet he wrote and created the best music and symphonies. So you can very well see that there is organ inferiority and an individual compensates for it by working in that modality or in another modality or in another channel. Third important construct, and that is feelings of inferiority. For Adler, all of us start life with feelings of inferiority because we are completely dependent on adults for our survival. This feeling of being weak and inferior stimulates and creates intense desire to seek power and to overcome feelings of inferiority. Are feelings of inferiority bad? It is a fact and a reality that it is the driving force in all humans. One feels inferior, therefore strives to become powerful and tries to accomplish more. Therefore, all humans experience feelings of being inferior, but in some it creates neurosis, a need to succeed under all circumstances and conditions. Dear students, we are talking about Alfred Adler's very important construct, that is feelings of inferiority. So all of us, we are completely, when we begin our lives, when we start our life, we are dependent on others for our own survival. And this creates a feeling of inferiority. When you feel weak, when you feel inferior, well, this feeling of being weak and inferior, it creates and it stimulates intense desire to seek power. और जब आप पावरफुल होने की कोशिश कर रहे होते हैं तो in fact you are trying to overcome feelings of inferiority. तो क्या ये feelings of inferiority अच्छी हैं या बुरी हैं? जनाब बात ये है कि feelings of inferiority are there in all of us. It's a fact and a reality. And they are the driving force. तो ये यकीनन अच्छी हैं. और क्योंकि जब when you feel inferior, it is only then that you strive to become powerful. It is only then that you want to accomplish more. इसीलिए जब ये feelings of inferiority होंगी तो आप ज्यादा पढ़ेंगे, ज्यादा तैयारी करेंगे और ज्यादा मेहनत करेंगे किसी भी चीज के लिए. Now all of us have these feelings of inferiority. लेकिन कुछ लोगों के अंदर ये फीलिंग्स ऑफ इंफीरियोरिटी एक ऐसी नीड और डिजायर क्रिएट करती है टू सक्सीड अंडर ऑल सर्कमस्टांसेस. जनाब बात आपसे कर रहे हैं फीलिंग्स ऑफ इंफीरियोरिटी की, और हमने कहा फीलिंग्स ऑफ इंफीरियोरिटी आर देयर इन ऑल ह्यूमंस, इट्स देयर इन ऑल ऑफ अस, but in certain individuals it creates a neurosis, a need to succeed under all circumstances. हर सूरत में, हर सूरत हाल में आपको कामयाब होना चाहिए. Belonging to the human race, it's not possible. You cannot be at the top always. You cannot be at your best always. So ये जो नीड है, it can become neurotic जब आप सिर्फ और सिर्फ हर सूरत में कामयाबी चाहते हैं under all circumstances. Dear students, we are talking about important constructs of Alfred Adler's individual psychology. उसमें fourth important concept, and that is striving for superiority. Striving for superiority is individual struggle and strive for a superior or perfect society. This could be beneficial as well as harmful. If a person concentrates on fulfilling his personal needs and ignores the needs of others or of the society, then he suffers from superiority complex. That is, an individual tries to be domineering, arrogant, and tries to deceive others. This is a self-centered, selfish individual. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब superiority, striving for superiority की, और हमने कहा striving for superiority जो है it's an individual struggle and strive for a better, perfect, superior society. और जनाब this striving for superiority, it can be beneficial and it can be harmful. तो जहां पर आप सिर्फ और सिर्फ अपने पर्सनल सेल्फिश गोल्स को परसू कर रहे हैं और जहां पर आप सिर्फ अपनी जात की बेहतरी का सोच रहे हैं और दूसरों की और सोसाइटी की बेहतरी का नहीं सोच रहे हैं, तो देन यू आर सफरिंग फ्रॉम सुपीरियोरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स. और ये वो इंडिविजुअल होगा जो बड़ा एरोगेंट होगा, बहुत डोमिनेटिंग होगा, बहुत सेल्फिश होगा और दूसरों को धोखा भी देगा और सिर्फ अपनी जात के बारे में सोचे. स्ट्राइविंग फॉर सुपीरियोरिटी आर बेनिफिशियल उस वक्त बेहतर है जब आप अपने पर्सनल गोल्स के साथ साथ दूसरों की बेहतरी और सोसाइटी की बेहतरी का भी सोचें. Then it is beneficial and then you are working for your betterment of others, and you strive to make this society a superior, a perfect, a better place to live in. और ये बेहतर होगा और यहाँ पे striving for superiority beneficial है. Dear students, we are talking with you about important concepts of Alfred Adler's personality theory और उसमें fifth important concept is style of life. All humans strive for superiority, but how superiority is sought depends upon a person's unique circumstances. The means by which a particular individual attempts to gain superiority is called the style of life. A person's style of life provides him with his identity. It determines how he will solve his problems, what goals he will pursue, and how he will attain them. A healthy style of life permits a person to live in harmony with others and to contribute towards the advancement of the society. A mistaken style of life is based on one's selfish motives and ignorance towards betterment of the society. The style of life evolves early in life so the child can overcome his feelings of inferiority and strive for perfection and pursue the betterment of the society. Adler believed the style of life develops early in childhood, whereas Erikson sees style of life as self-identity and it develops during late adolescence. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब स्टाइल ऑफ लाइफ की और हमने उसमें कहा कि स्टाइल ऑफ लाइफ ऑल ह्यूमन स्ट्राइव फॉर सुपीरियोरिटी. हम सब सुपीरियर होना चाहते हैं, बट हाउ वी what is the method, the technique or mode of achieving that superiority? Well, that determines your style of life. Now, a person's style of life provides him with identity of what the individual is, and it also determines how he will solve his problems, what future goals he will pursue and how he will attain them. उसका mechanism और तरीका क्या होगा. एक अच्छा स्टाइल ऑफ लाइफ जो है, जो एक हेल्दी स्टाइल ऑफ लाइफ है, इट बेसिकली फोकसेस ऑन इंडिविजुअल टू लिव इन हार्मनी with one another and to contribute towards advancement and betterment and perfection of the society. और एक mistaken style of life वो होगा जिसमें सिर्फ आप अपने selfish motives को pursue करें. Now, style of life, it evolves, it comes into existence quite early in childhood, or it helps the individual to overcome his feelings of inferiority. For Adler, style of life develops early in childhood, जबकि Erik Erikson के accordingly style of life is the self-identity and it develops during late adolescence. Dear students, we are talking about Alfred Adler's theory of personality और हमने उसमें आपके साथ आज के लेक्चर में जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स पे फोकस किया, उसमें we talked about with you about the biographical sketch of Alfred Adler. We focused on feelings of inferiority and birth order theory as given to us by Adler. उसके बाद हमने उसके कुछ कंस्ट्रक्ट्स पे फोकस किया. सारे कंस्ट्रक्ट्स हमने नहीं कवर किए. We'll cover them in the next lecture. The constructs that we followed and covered in this lecture include what is individual psychology, what is organ inferiority and compensation, feelings of inferiority, striving for superiority, and style of life. जनाब, इन 5 important constructs पे हमने फोकस किया और इनको कवर करने की कोशिश की. Dear students, I hope you have enjoyed listening to these concepts. They are connected. This lecture is very much connected with the next one. So do go through the PowerPoint slides and the Word document that is available to you on the web page of this course. And do write to us if you have any queries and questions. We'll be glad to respond to them. Do take care of yourself and hope to see you soon with another lecture on Alfred Adler's individual psychology. Up till then, it's Khuda Hafiz.